Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to Minecraft Legends. We're going to proceed with the campaign in just a second, but I wanted to show you something really quickly that wasn't available to me right when I started the campaign. If we click on campaign here, we can choose saved games here, so it's possible to have multiple campaign saves side by side. We can also tab over to see if any of our friends are playing, because when we open this campaign, it actually gives you the option to invite friends to play the campaign along with you with up to 4 players. So while you need to start the game on your own to get the hang of the tutorial and everything, once you are in the game, it is possible to play this side by side with some of your friends. Not only that, but over here on the right-hand side, we have a way of changing the difficulty. The default difficulty is called Fabled. An easier difficulty setting called Storied is available if you're interested in just playing through the story and you don't want as much difficulty in the gameplay, but you can also increase the difficulty by 2 levels to Mythic and then to Legendary. I'm going to up the difficulty to Mythic for this campaign. I don't think I'm quite ready to go for Legendary quite yet, but you'll notice down here in the log it says it's recommended for players seeking a greater challenge, larger world size, more piglin bases, enemy units are slightly more resilient, and resources are more scarce. So you can actually start with a lot more of these settings in place, especially if you want a larger world. I don't know if that's going to affect the world I've already been playing in, but I'm interested in a few more piglin bases and enemy units being slightly more difficult and trying to struggle for survival a little bit more than we have been doing so far. So with that out of the way, we're going to hit start and we're going to continue with the campaign from where we left off in the last episode. So in our last episode, I believe we had just set up our improvement hub, we had learned to gather iron and coal for the first time, and we had really taken a look at the size of the open world, which does seem to have expanded the amount of piglin bases since we were last here, and they really have these territories marked out. The Horde of the Bastion has its own little outpost here, and the tutorial characters are already telling me that there are piglin bases expanding all over the place. So let's take a quick look at what we can do here. I think we can probably head out towards this Horde of the Bastion outpost to see what we can do. I think this marker here was just one I made whilst we were doing the mission before. We can also go around and visit these individual village chests to pick up resources from them instead of having to go and gather ourselves. So that's a really useful thing that the villagers can do for us. If we want redstone, we'll go over there. If we want to get coal and iron, we can go to these two. That one's diamonds and that one's iron as well, and it all corresponds to the biome that the village is set in. For now, we're going to spawn over here at the well house that I set up in the previous episode, this one that's going to be right on the edge of the Horde of the Bastion's base. I want to gather a bit more prismarine from this base, which we can do by taking down some of the base structures, and I want to see if it's going to be possible to clear some of the Netherrack away from where this base is and claim it as our own territory. So the first thing I'll do is pop down a cobblestone golem spawner, since we're probably going to do a lot of dealing with structures here, and these guys are probably the best way to do that to begin with. We have a fairly limited amount of mobs we can control at once. We're probably going to leave 1 or 2 of these behind, but we'll take a quick look at what we've got here, and it looks like some of these are either like nether spreaders or lava wells or something. Either way, we're going to be able to take these down with our cobblestone golems. The creeper here might even lend a hand in taking care of some of the structures. We've discovered gold. Oh, fantastic. I have been playing a little bit of the training mode in Versus just to see what the deal is with that, and it's a really neat way of getting used to multiplayer, but some of the resources aren't even available. Like, for example, I don't think gold is really part of PvP campaigns. It's mostly here in PvE, it looks like. Well, let's see if we can stop this nether spreader from doing its foul work right now. Seems like the skeletons and zombies are all joining in. There we go, we take that one down. Let's move on to this next one. I'll head over here and bash away at some of these piglins that have spawned, but I've thankfully not noticed the fact that I'm slowly making progress into their base. And most of these piglin units were taking 2 hits to take down before, whereas now it does feel like they are a little bit more resilient, as the difficulty settings said. Let's see if we can take this one down, and we're getting a fair amount of prismarine from gathering these towers. Now, can my Allays gather gold yet? I guess we can't, so we'll have to see what that is about later. In the meantime, I think we can open this cage and release the villagers who are being contained here. There we go, run free, my friends. Haha! Now let's... Oh gosh, there's a huge amount of piglins that have just suddenly come out of this piglin pit. We'll take care of those. Make sure they don't harm my cobblestone golems, who are busy taking the place down. And it looks like there's just one more of those and another gold mining operation, it looks like, before we can call this base done and walked over. And then we can see about converting some of this netherrack back into pristine overworld terrain. It seems like these are spawning a great deal more piglin units than they were previously, so that's probably got something to do with the difficulty setting as well. In the meantime, I should probably send these villagers out of the base. They all seem a little bit lonely here, but it doesn't seem like there's a huge amount that they can do. I can't rally them around my banner, at least, so we don't need to worry about that just yet. And that should be all of the piglin spawners taken care of. Now let's take out that last gold mine over there, and there's just a couple of straggling piglin units left around here before we can begin our work. We're going to open the cage here, let out the rest of those. We've destroyed a Horde of the Bastion outpost. No, don't go towards the lava, you fool! What are you doing? That villager immediately went for a lava bath. What an idiot. Okay, well, we'll send these guys out of the area for now, and we'll probably tell them to go over there. I don't know if we're seeing a great deal of other piglin activity in the area. Nature is healing. The llamas are returning. Fantastic. Let's head back over to our well, though, which is just over here, so really not all that far away. And let's see if it's possible to build structures around the radius of this well, or if we have to return to the well in the center of the map. First of all, let's see if we can build an improvement hub. We'll need to go to our journal for that. And looks like we can't build an improvement hub here. Those are set up for us around the well specifically, but these seem to have a few extra things that I'm less familiar with. Okay, well, at least we can fast travel to this, so I'm going to go to the map, head back to the Well of Fate, and from here we should be able to set up the improvement that allows us to cure Netherrack. That sounds like a fantastic thing to do to this world long term.
They just need the right inspiration.
Well, we're looking for the right inspiration. It's really nice to get more of action and foresight as well, because those don't appear nearly as much in PvP. Knowledge is the one who's letting you know all of the stuff that's going on in PvP matches. So now our resourcing melodies allow us to cure Netherrack, and it turns it into a safe block that we can build structures on. We need to use that to push into the piglin bases. Let's return to that well house that we made before, and let's see if we can do that on the Horde of the Bastion base we've just taken down. Fortunately, it looks like the piglins haven't moved back in quite yet. It doesn't seem like they are rebuilding anything right away, and it looks like there may even be some patches of grass around the outside of here. Now let's go to our Cure Netherrack, and we've got to start doing that from the exterior of a base, it looks like. And these darker Netherrack blocks are still considered Netherrack, so you've really got to make some headway slowly but surely in here. And are those redstone deposits, or is that just a natural glow to the area? It does kind of seem like the Allays are spreading moss with bone meal the way you do in vanilla Minecraft, doesn't it? But now we've made a little bit more room in there, we can start placing another Allay to do the next part of the job, and slowly but surely we paper over the terrain here with our own overworld goodness. I wonder what that does to the pools of lava that have generated around here as well. I'm very curious about that, and whether or not it will leave the gold deposits untouched. I think these villagers need a little bit of help though, because they are desperately trying to escape these lava baths. In the meantime, I'll try and use my gathering allays to spread this area outwards, and it's really quite different having them be used for stuff like this, like terraforming almost, instead of them gathering resources directly from the coal and stone and ore deposits around us. I don't like these villagers pushing each other around like that. I am slightly worried. Yep, one of them just went in the lava. Oh my goodness. Hello? What was that noise?
Was that something wicked? The piglins are on the move.
Oh no, what's happening? The piglins are on the move. Have they come to take their territory back?
Piglin's hunger grows with the approaching dark. Be prepared for anything when the sun sets.
All right, I'll be prepared for anything. I genuinely thought that that was some kind of alarm that the villager had fallen in lava and I'd failed a mission or something. I was really worried there for a second. But yep, it looks like they have.
The piglins expanded a base. And every time they do, the more their danger grows.
They've upgraded. Oh my goodness, that's wild. That's something I need to be aware of, because I was not aware that they were going to be making the same kind of progress that I'm making over here. Well, I'm glad they don't have this base to upgrade, although they do seem to have turned up here and decided that they're going to do something about all of this grass. Not today, friends. I wonder if I can start building walls around this to safeguard it as a villager encampment instead of a base for the piglins. And it looks like the grass over here is kind of spreading naturally on its own as I go in the lava. Hello? So I wonder if I'm just speeding up the process of this area terraforming itself, or if I really have to take an active role in this before it starts converting wholeheartedly. Either way, it seems like what that cutscene was really telling us about is the night piglins. Effectively, the piglins doing a little bit more and becoming active with occasional patrols and stuff when night falls. So we need to make sure that we have a few guards around the place. Look at this glowing zoglin. I mean, it's not even a zoglin, it's a hoglin. It's not a zombified one at all. Hey, stop messing with my villagers. There's a couple of Horde of the Spore guys out here who are pretty tough, actually. This guy's taking a lot of hits to take down. Oh, and a piglin key. We found a new resource. What does that mean? Maybe that Horde of the Spore guy actually had something really useful to us. Is they going to open a chest or something? Let's take a quick look. That'll be in the journal over here. Piglin keys open chests which have been locked to prevent their valuable contents from being stolen. Awesome. So if we end up breaking into a base and finding a locked chest, we can open it now thanks to possessing a piglin key. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like Diablo-style mechanics almost. I'm looking forward to the sun coming up and seeing this terraformed base in all of its full glory. And to be honest, I was not expecting there to be anything like terraforming in this game. So once again, Minecraft Legends proves itself to be a deeper game than I expected. I'm also curious if these structures will end up getting claimed by our side, and if the Netherrack from underneath the sides of this is ever going to completely go away. It seems like we have a couple of piglins trying to make their way over here from that river, so I'm going to start building arrow towers around here to defend this area now that we have claimed it. We can also build a carpenter's hut up on this hillside just to make sure that the arrow towers stay repaired in case any piglins manage to make their way into the vicinity. But they've got a good vantage point from out here, and they should be able to shoot down the target piglins as they are running up the hill. It is even possible for us to build another well house here if we wanted to claim this as a more permanent base, but I think just having a couple of extra towers around here will feel like the area is a little better defended and we can do what we want with it later. At this point, it does seem like the netherrack around these stairs is going to stay that way. I can't really place any more allays around here to convert the terrain, so it just seems like the edges around here still need to be done. You know, part of me was hoping that once we'd converted enough of it, this whole area would be completely clean of netherrack, and it'd be kind of like Power Wash Simulator, where the whole thing just kind of flashes once and is done. But the sun is rising on our new green paradise, complete with its unfortunate lava pit, and the whole thing seems to have gone pretty well. It also seems like we can take down these trees, these kind of desolate and barren trees, since they are made of wood. I don't know if we can do anything about this structure in the center here. Doesn't seem to be made out of any material that we can really claim right now. And the gold. I've still got my eye on the gold. It looks like a big turtle egg in there or something. And I am finding myself wishing I could somehow build the villagers a house of some kind, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in a couple more cobblestone golems once I've dealt with this little extra piglin group over here. Piglins are drawing up plans for their next invasion. That sounds like them, but it says use your map to prepare a response. Oh, so we can actually kind of see what their next plans are. If we take a look at the map, there is another base directly to the north of us, so we've destroyed that outpost, but the main base is right there. This base over here is sparkling, and that seems like
This piglin base grows stronger.
Yeah, there you go. It is growing stronger. Thank you, Foresight. That was very well timed. Thank you very much. And yeah, so it seems like the bases do start to expand, and you can maybe pick whether you want to mess with them as a strategic target or not. Anyway, it seems like my cobblestone golem spawner ended up getting destroyed by one of the bands of piglins during the night, so I need to do a quick bit of stone gathering so that I will have enough stone to make another one, and then we can try and demolish those stairs and see if that does anything. But I think overall, this place is going to stay like a scar on the landscape. Like the developers said initially, it's going to be something that we can terraform like this, but never something that will be truly reclaimed for the overworld, which is kind of sad, but also kind of an interesting take on this whole story. Also, is it me, or does the sun coming up still kind of feel ominous around here? If I step out into the neighboring biomes, the sky really clears up, but it does seem like this area still has the touch of the nether about it. It still has that red sky that really makes me think of the piglins. Well, we can rebuild our cobblestone spawner. We might as well put it on the same spot, and a few more cobblestone golems should be able to help me take down that piglin ramp. Alright, let's move them in. Let's see if we can have them target this structure. We can have them focus on a target, but it doesn't really seem like they see it as something to destroy, which is fine, I guess. I think we can probably safely say that that's just part of the scenery now. But I wonder if I'm standing around with all these villagers, if I gather around like this and then I return to the Well of Fate, do I bring the villagers with me, or is it just my friendly units that I'm bringing? It seems like it's just the cobblestone golems. Okay, so I wonder what we can do ultimately about the fate of those villagers. But not to worry, it's time to go and make some progress elsewhere in the world. First of all, I'm going to grab a little bit more iron, and I'm going to gather some stone from around the area by my Well of Fate. I think it's going to be good to have a few more resources like that, especially since I'm running fairly low on prismarine, and I think it's going to be ideal to go and stomp another piglin base so that we can get hold of more prismarine to make more improvements. Since they are closest to this village down here, we should probably check out that village next, and I'm kind of curious about the creeper homestead around the other side of that in the Badlands. We should maybe check that out. But we'll follow the arrow on our map, we'll head towards that marker, and we should hopefully be able to collect a few more resources along the way. I picked up a couple of skeletons on the way, and it seems like they make pretty quick work of these piglin units. It's really nice to see them take down a piglin from a distance so I don't have to deal with them up close. Especially when the hoglins are messing with the regal tigers around here. There we go, we'll take that one out, and let's move on. The llamas are defending themselves. They're spitting at the piglins. That's so cool. It does seem like you're just going to run into piglins here and there in the wild, which is really quite interesting. It's kind of cool to see these roving bands of them, almost like pillager patrols. This area is super cool as well. Oh my goodness, I think I've walked through a poison plant back there. Sorry about that, but I really like these stone formations here. I almost don't want to take them down because they're so cool.
Another village needs your help. Please, you have to hurry.
I thought I was hurrying, but is it the village I'm going to, or is it a separate village? I'm not certain, but it seems like it says we can now fast travel to the village fountain this way. That's incredible. So now we've been here, we can open up this chest, we can grab a few more resources, stone and wood, very nice. That's sort of what I was hoping to acquire along the way. And we can set to work preparing some defenses for this village. Yes, thank you.
This village won't be able to withstand attacks.
I'm pretty sure we can start with some scatter towers, which are basically upgraded versions of arrow towers. We'll put a bunch of those in the direction of the piglin base, which seems like it's over in this direction, and there's another one to the northwest of here. So we really want to be focusing on the west and northwest sides. Now, the carpenter's hut has a specific radius around it in which it will repair wooden structures, so we need to make sure that we have it close enough to these arrow towers that it's going to get at least 3 or 4 of them. And now we've got that built, we might also consider a masonry to upgrade them to stone tier, but there's a couple of other bits and pieces we might be able to build in the fullness of time, so I might hold off on that for now. For example, the kaboomery allows us to add explosive knockback projectiles to the arrow towers and scatter towers, so that will be ideal for repelling a larger piglin force. Let's go and grab a little bit more coal from around here, and let's see if we can build a kaboomery next to our carpenter's shop. It seems like we have already reached the cap on iron, though, and that can be expanded by building another one of the improvements. Those do seem like they have to be back at our Well of Fate in the center of the map, though, so maybe we will have to return to that another time. In the meantime, do I have enough resources to build that kaboomery? I don't. I actually need more coal than I have the capacity to stockpile right now. So let's see if we go back to the Well of Fate after all and build ourselves another improvement. We can always fast travel back to this base in a second. This right here looks like the improvement hub that we built our first coal thing around, and of course, I don't have enough prismarine for it, so we will have to go on the offensive after all and go and attack the piglin base immediately to the west of this village. Okay, then westward we go, and let's see what this piglin base is looking like. Wow. I can see a little bit of that in the render distance, and that is looking like a much larger settlement than the ones we have previously encountered. This is a fortress, and oh my gosh, they have fortress-like defenses as well. That is one heck of a projectile. Let's see what we can do about making our way in here. For a start, we will need to avoid that. We will need to build a ramp up from this level to the next. It's going to tell us something about this base first.
Oh, this does not look good.
Look, that portal is indestructible. Those lava coils will have to come down first.
Okay, lava coils coming
Quite
down.
ingenious, those lava coils. Their heat protects the nearby portal.
The Piglin forces here are quite impressive. Sometimes bravery alone cannot overcome.
Gather more friends, gather more tools, and you'll be ready for this challenge in no time.
Well, let's see if we can take down some of the walls now. We've got a couple of cobblestone golems on the case, but wow, okay, yep, it looks like the nether spreaders inside of here are actually repelling us from the walls. That is smart design. Now let's see if we can make a way around here and do a bit of recon. There's a nether spreader on this side, and there's the main gate. So let's see if we can take this down and take a look at the surrounding environment and what we can take advantage of, because there's already a couple of ramps over here. I might be able to get in if it not for the fact that the gate closes behind the piglins. Yes, we've taken down the nether spreader at least, and let's see if we can get to work on the gate, but the piglins are sending out a pretty overwhelming force of blaze rod slingers. We've just about been able to beat those back, but I think it's time for us to beat a quick retreat. Let's see if we can maybe take out this nether spreader as well, so that it doesn't expand even further into this neighboring jungle biome. And in the meantime, we can take out these piglins as they come on down, but I'm looking pretty low on health, so I need to drop back and recover. And the piglins are sort of all over the place around here, actually. So even though we can get a little extra prismarine, we may not be able to take on this base on our own quite yet. Back to the village, I think, and let's formulate a strategy. We were able to get a bit of prismarine from that, but I think our coal improvement is going to require a lot more than that. The calming influence of the village should give me a little bit of time to think, though. So let's take stock of what we can make already. We've got plank golems and cobblestone golems that are very basic units, grindstone golems for disrupting enemies, and mossy golems for keeping our troops healed up, but they might not stand a chance against some of the more impressive artillery the piglins have at that base. I doubt that there's much of a chance of us building any arrow towers of our own over there as well. Even if we can have the Netherrack cut back by the Allays, they still have a massive cannon that they can shoot at any structures we build, which is going to do a lethal amount of damage. So it seems like before we embark on these medium bases, we do need to take out some of the straggling outposts, some of the smaller bases like this one here and that one there. Those seem like they are not as built up as this one is. On the flip side, I am kind of curious about going around the edge of this base and checking out the creeper homestead in the Badlands before we wrap up this episode. So let's make a quick journey through over here. Let's see if we can gather a little bit of wood and stuff along the way, since I know some pretty tall trees grow in this area. Let's leave an Allay there gathering some wood, although I have a feeling it's not going to last very long with the piglins still marauding around. I'm making straight for the creeper homestead icon on my map, though, because I want to know what these are about. Yeah, it seems like without sticking around to defend that Allay, it's not really been able to gather a great deal of resources. No worries, though, I'll hop over here, and this area looks a little bit quieter in terms of piglin activity, so let's drop a gathering Allay there and hope that it has a better time of it. I do like these Badlands forests a lot. Those are really quite cool. I love the design of the trees especially. Some really, really neat design has gone into this place. It kind of keeps the blocky aesthetic of Minecraft whilst obviously taking their own spin on it. And look at this!
Creepers ready to help.
Oh,
Their
the
home
creepers!
has escaped the piglins' notice for now. Let's hope it remains that way.
The creepers are so cute, hanging around these little rock formations, and they have their own, like, green, goopy water, I guess. Maybe that's less healthy for me to stand in. I wonder if the creepers can come to my aid and help a little bit with that piglin encampment, though. Maybe they can take down the gate with their explosive capabilities. The music here is so peaceful as well. It's kind of a different vibe of a place. And I gotta be honest, running around with a whole pack of creepers in tow like this feels slightly surreal as someone who's been playing Minecraft for a little while, but they can see the piglin base too. They know their home is in danger, and maybe we can encourage them to help us with the fight. Also, there's a little rabbit or a prairie dog or something over there. There's even a little difficulty rating that pops up whenever you enter the radius of a base like this, and that's really quite cool. Hopefully we should be able to guide our creepers through here and take on the front door of this base. They do seem to be following me pretty effectively. Let's see if we can have them break down the gate. Focus on that target and charge! Yeah, look at that! A creeper salvo takes down the gate.
Broken through their defenses.
I sure have, Foresight, but once I've done that, I don't really have a great deal I can do beyond that. So unless we want to drag all of these creepers over from their home into the middle of this fight, we may have to establish some other means of taking on that piglin base. I don't know if the piglins will be able to repair that gate in the meantime, but for now, I'm going to retreat to the nearby village so we can wrap up this episode without me being shot with all of these piglin cannons. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching another episode of Minecraft Legends. I do hope you've enjoyed taking a look at some of the more more open world campaign action that this game has to offer. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Leave a like on this video if you are enjoying it. Subscribe if you want to see more. My name has been Pixlriffs, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye for now.